Hello, my name is Jonathan Morrison, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about the bombing sequence from I Heard the Bells.
Things have changed. The snow is still white, but now it's stained with blood.
When we wanted to do the shot, we realized the only way to do it would be in 3D. For inspiration, I found a clip on YouTube, and I really liked the kinetic energy. It showed the tracking of the bomb down. So taking our reference, we set to work. The first thing was to get a 3D Lego model of a B-17. And there is our model. So I rigged up the bombers, took a bunch of empties, animated the propeller spinning, so it just spins and spins and spins. And then we were ready to animate the whole scene. So instead of animating all the planes moving, I decided just to animate the camera moving. I tracked the camera to an empty, and then I was able to animate that empty to control the camera rotation, which just had a lot more freedom. And after a lot of looking at the reference and going back and forth, changing things, I finally came up with something which I was happy with. After that, I had a formation of bombers with the bombs falling into nothing. So the next step was creating the ground that they would fall into. Oh my god, beach ball of death spinning right there. This scene is absolutely huge. So to create the city, I used a plugin to import satellite data into Blender, which then gave me this rough 3D city. It's obviously not that detailed at all, but I didn't need it to be detailed. I just needed something. Then I faced the big problem. This is not Lego. For that, I ended up texturing all of these buildings with this Lego texture. Honestly, it doesn't look that good, but all I needed was something to sell the impression from far away. When I animated the camera, it was just not falling fast enough. So I could either have reanimated everything, or I could just animate the ground rising up. So that's what I did. Now I just had to light it all and render, which turned out to be a lot harder than I was thinking. So after a bazillion test renders and lighting tweaks, the lighting was done. To hide the seams between the pictures, which made it the sky, I created some rough, blocky looking clouds and slapped those in there over the seams. I made a layer of smoke. With that all together, I broke it into 5 render layers and then rendered each of these layers out in a pass. The shot is 175 frames. So you times that times 10 minutes each, that's 170, no, hang on a sec. That's 1,750 minutes. About a day to render this whole shot out once. And then if you made a mistake, you had to render it out all again. But we were able to get it all rendered out and handed it off to Jeremiah for compositing.
Things have changed. The snow is still white, but now it's stained with blood.
I hope you enjoyed this behind the scene look at I Heard the Bells. Stay tuned for more videos like this. Follow us on social media to keep up to date with everything that's going on here at Morrison Brothers. Thank you for watching.
Incoming! How do I find out what's going on with Morrison Brothers? You have to go to morrisonbros.net. There you can see all their latest projects. How do I stay up to date on everything? You have to follow them on social media, like Facebook and Instagram. Let's give it to them hot. Ding the bell. Let's do this. Incoming! Good one, Mac.